All right, welcome everybody. Just bit off more than I can chew this morning. A lot going on, and yes, how are y'all doing out there? Today should be a fun and chill class, and I appreciate you joining me here today. Yes, Angelia, that is exactly what I just did, and I went and I did get my coffee. So yeah, third cup of the day, absolutely. I was filming Angelia's coaching critiques this morning. And so, Angelia, they're all up right now, and I made a new folder for you with all of 2026 folders of like your critique images in one folder. So it's all in the email. You probably already saw it this morning. Okay. With that being said, let's get to drawing now. I just need to put my piece of paper on my screen before I switch cameras. And just a side note, my God, I have the students at the School of Visual Arts, the undergrad students are going to be annoyed at me, but I do have several sketchbook videos on my iPhone of some really good sketchbooks. I really need to get them up. But my point was this: I'm probably going to be taking 3 weeks off in the end of August before the grind starts in September of me going back to teach at the college, because it is a happy grind, but it's a grind nonetheless. So there's so much I need to do before I go back to teach, because once I start that ball running down the hill, there's no stopping it. And if there's anything that you need to do around your home or stuff like that, like it's not happening, at least not with my schedule. So I really need to take the last 3 weeks off in August to take care of all this stuff before school starts. And then I'm going to be doing live streams for probably 15 weeks in a row after that for the fall semester. Um, oh boy, that was not a cool. Okay, Jesus Christ. Um, Hold on now, people. Oh boy. Um, yeah, let me just leave that. Oh boy, what a way to get started here. Okay, good times, good times. Uh, yes, Angelia is here, Carmela is here. Thank you all for joining me. All right, now with that being said, let me get my sheet of paper set on the screen, and we're gonna start to do our warm up, and it'll be good. It'll be good. So let's switch over. We've got a really awesome model today. Um, Love this model to death. I don't know where this photo came from, so I am taking a little bit of a chance. I'm going to just say that I did find it on um, Pinterest for sure, or somewhere on the interwebs. I don't remember where, but time will tell what happens with this photo in terms of, all the fun stuff, whether or not I could even be drawing it. If I can't draw it, I'll just take down the video, and it is what it is. It's just such a good photo to draw. Something different, really beautiful model. So now let me just get a sense of my paper. I'm. This is going to happen today, people. I know I'm starting slow. I know I'm starting slow, but we'll catch up. Okay, we need to focus camera. Let me get my grayscale down so this camera has something to focus on. I don't think my microphone is in the way. That's much better. Okay. So that's my left. That's my top. That's the right side of my image camera screen thing, live area. And that's my bottom. Okay, which means I'm sorry. I know this is so doggone exciting. I usually do this before, but I didn't. So yeah, bad on me. Bad on me. Okay, now we can get started. Okay, but first, the warm up. Now, in actuality, I had a little warm up this morning drawing on top of Angelia's images. Angelia's a member of the website drawingtutorialsonline.com and doing some coaching with me. And it was really fun to draw on top of Angelia's images, which are getting better and better and better. So you know how I like to warm up. Yesterday, I did do a quick drawing of this model for my Zoom class. And so, yeah, it destroyed me because a lot of shading, and my hand was we had like a rainstorm come through, so the barometric pressure dropped, and when that happens, when you're in your late 50s, everything just gets like a little sore. So my forearm was screaming at me. So right now I'm not pressing down hard on my warm-up ovals. I'm just kind of taking it chill. Okay. And now let's just do some lines of action. And let's do some ellipses. Ellipses are really awesome to draw. Okay. Love it. Good, good, good. And now let's just do some shapes. So we're just going to do a weird shape. Ooh, that one's really freaky. Oh, it looks like it's going to rain again, actually. And this time I'm going to do it right below it and tilting. And too tall. Damn it. Okay, I'm going to do it right next to it. A little bit better, but I didn't get the shape. That is such a good exercise. It's such a good exercise. And then the other thing that's really good for you to practice as well is just shading in a solid way. The most underestimated practice you could possibly not do. So shading in a solid way. I'm not shading dark. It's a light mid-tone. Shade in a solid way. Practice that. Now let's just go a little darker. Shade in a solid way. So we have lots of good practice here. We have gestural loose line. We have line of action connector lines. We have ellipses. We have more angular bark plate style. And now we have drawn like a painter. A little bit more tonal. I think this is a balanced warm-up for everybody. And, you know, one of these might be more of what you align towards. You might align a little bit more towards shading. You might align a little bit more towards gestural line. You might align a little bit more towards the bark plates angles technique. A teacher that I love, Anthony Ryder. One day I would like to attend his class. I think it's New Mexico or something like that. Man, that would be a dream. But yeah, maybe when I get old and I have time. Not now, but man, that would be so much fun. And Anthony Ryder calls the bark plate angles. Yeah, I got a shaky hand today. This sucks. The envelope. At least part of that becomes the envelope. All right. And if, you know, I like promoting other people's stuff. I don't have any affiliation with these people, but, you know, Anthony Ryder's book, the figure drawing book, it's just a must have. I don't think I've ever really read it. I'm a picture person. I looked at the pictures and I kind of got it. I should have read it. I'm such a jackass, but, you know, that's a story for another day. Okay, with that being said, we need to draw for Pete's sakes. We need to draw for Pete's sakes. Pete lives across the street. Fernando, welcome. Welcome. Okay. Now, what I need to do, because I have my assortment of pencils to my left, I need to just stop throwing my pencil down because I have all these pencils and then I lose it. Stupid. I'm using real positivity talk. Here it is. I'm using real positive talk this morning. Can't you tell? All right, let's see. Is this all up there? 10 minutes in, the dude finally starts to draw. Okay, let's do it. So I said that's the top. That's my left. So how am I going to start this drawing? I'm going to start. That's a little low, but that's fine. I'm going to start with the angle, very light pressure, and then another angle, top of our model's hair. Another semi-curved angle. I'm just looking at the placement on my paper. I think it'll work. Another curved angle, and then a tilted angle down to the bottom of the hair right above the collar of the fleece. Okay, and this should be shorter. So now I'm just simplifying this side of the hair. Good. Okay, now that's my start. I get you, YouTube. It's really light. But I want to go light because I'm going to be doing diversity of texture on this piece. So now, let's just say, for argument's sake, that's the bottom of our model's hair. This is the bottom of our model's hair on the right side of the photo of our model. Now, this should connect with our model's chin, jawbone area. And then I'm going to have this angle for the face, which yesterday when I drew this, I made it a little bit too wide and I had to erase it like 3 times. So I'm going to move it over to the right. So this is a connector. I know it's light. I promise you I will press down harder as the drawing progresses. And I should, because my hand is giving off heat because I am physically drawing on a computer screen, I should put a piece of paper here to absorb some of that heat. So my drawing piece of paper that I am drawing on top of does not start to buckle. That's very annoying when that happens. Okay, now I'm drawing a little bit smaller today. Yeah, I just am, because I don't want to, this is a lot of shading. I want to try to match the values. And okay, so some angles here for the bone structure and our model's forehead. Look more, draw less. Look more, draw less. This is too tall. Look more, draw less. Now, there is no... yesterday, a student in class asked me... All right, hold on. Let me just get a little coffee here. Man, I pray to God you didn't hear that slurp. That was bad. Okay, remote. Student asked me, Matt, you always say, and this was Angelia, you always say different things should have different values. And yes, different things should have different values. However, in this situation, there are 3 to 4 light sources hitting our model. Okay, so there's a top light that's coming down and hitting the top of our model's hair and the top of our model's shoulder. Then there is Rembrandt light, aka form light, hitting the front of the face because of the Rembrandt triangle of light on the cheekbone. And then if you look at the side of the lips over here and the side of the nose and the side of the cheekbone, there's another light that's coming in. So I count 3 light sources. Yeah. So getting back to the different things, different values, like there is no clear... the hair is casting a shadow on the forehead, and so it's hard to see like the different things, different values, right? And that's okay. That's okay on this drawing. So I'm just gonna get the dark of the cast shadow and just say, oh, that's gonna be part of the shape of the hair for me. But technically, the shape of the hair is gonna be a little bit higher. And you just kind of have to take like that leap of faith. So now let's say this is our model's chin area, jawbone. I'm bringing the jawbone up with a light line, and I'm looking, and I'm going to get the edge of the jawbone like right here. And then I look, okay, if that's the jawbone and that's the side of the face, how's that width? Is it too wide? Look more, draw less. And what about from here to here? Not bad. Okay. I don't want to overanalyze either. That wouldn't be cool. So maybe bottom of the earlobe. And now never leave the head floating. Never is a pretty strong word, but I'm a big believer in always drawing the model's neck. And our model's neck is super thin. So keep that in mind as you are drawing this pose. And then just suggest the collar. And suggest the collar. Just a little bit right there. You don't need to copy exactly what you see because there's the collar of the fleece and the collar of the shirt. Okay, so next step for me is, believe it or not, before I even go anywhere near our model's features, I'm going to revisit the edge of our model's hair. And yes, I'm going to use a choppy, chicken scratchy sort of line. And I'm kind of scribbling a little bit to start to indicate diversity of texture. Okay, and let's go up here. Let's come down. Let's go up slightly. Let's go up more with our edge. And then I'm going to come down this way. I'm not going too crazy with the texture just yet over here. I'm just being a little bit more playful with it, a little bit more fun. And this hair is higher than the chin. Okay, so my next step is just going to be to start to what we did in our warm-up. So in our warm-up, we did our ovals, we did our line of action, we did our ellipses, we did our angles, and we did our tone. So I'm going to do tone next. We're drawing a little bit more angular, not so curvy yet. So right over here, I'm going to start to add, I'm not pressing down super hard yet. I'm not even ready to go there. I'm just using a mid-tone. Okay, thank you all for joining me here this morning. We've got about 19 people on the stream, and I appreciate all of you joining me here today. Okay, so yeah, I'm just straight up and down, straight up and down. It's the fastest, quickest way to begin the shading process. I'm not pressing down hard. I'm not attempting to match the value in the first go-through of laying in tone. So this is blocking in tone, laying in tone. If you're a painter, you can use either or. I'm sure you've heard these terminologies before. There's 14 million different teachers on YouTube. And yeah, 14 million different art schools. I'm being very loose with it for now. I want to get a shape in, basically, is what I'm just doing. Because I tend to see proportions better with shapes. Oh, I got to turn that off. Hold on. You know, it's a double-edged sword. If you buy something, they want you to sign up with your text to get like the discount for your first portrait and purchase, and then you get the text. Wonderful. Okie dokie. So a big thing with this particular drawing is the height from the chin to this triangular highlight on our model's forehead. That's going to dictate to me the height of the face. And then I'm going to versus it to the top of the hair. I think from here to here is longer than from here to the top of the hair. So I could slightly make this a little bit taller, and I can bring down the hair a wee bit. So kind of both, right? So I could drop this, and I could raise this. So those are some serious like landmarks right there. And I think maybe I went a little too high with the hair. Okay. Now we need to, get with the program here and start to do some stuff in the middle. So I'm going to say this is very close to the eyebrow. I'm not pressing down hard, and then our eyebrow is in the shadow. Cheekbone. Let me make sure that green pencil is nowhere to be found. Okay. Yep, this is a black pencil. Okay. Um, cheekbone. Rembrandt line that separates the light from the shadow. It comes down, touches kind of the edge of the lips, and then it rolls under the chin. So next step for me, technically the hair should be a little bit darker than the skin tone if I want to do my philosophy of different things should have different values. But right now I'm cool with this being light in the beginning. There's no edge really to the hair. So that does make this portrait a little bit more difficult to draw when you don't have like a definitive edge to look at, no doubt. Now I am going to come back here. I'm going to move this piece of paper over a touch. Yep. So this is going to be my home base, meaning the area that I always go back to because I understand it. It looks a little bit easier for me to draw right over there. Watch, I'll screw it up. This comes down straight, and then this slowly curves into the chin. Angle, 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 curved angle. Back to a little bit more of a definitive darker value. Not black yet. I don't want to start denting the paper and pressing down too hard. Okay. All right, good. And that's our cast shadow. The hair is casting on the forehead. I'm just going a little bit darker over here. And darker over here. So this is all shadow of the hair shape. And that shadow of our model's hair shape is just merging ever so completely with the cast shadow on the skin tone. So it could get like a little hard to decipher between the two. But just, you have to just take that leap of faith and draw. Okay, just take that leap of faith and draw. And let the cards fall where they may. You screw it up, but at least you're learning in the process. But don't even think about screwing it up. Just kind of block in tone. And so we're doing this in such a non-committal. The paper's already buckling. That sucks. Okay. I woke up and it was pouring out. I immediately, had my coffee, whatever. I have my waking up time. It's slow for me to get my body rolling in the morning. Had my coffee, 2 cups of coffee, look at my Instagram stuff. And then I came up and I filmed coaching videos, and I was drawing digitally on top of Angelia's images, and my forearm just immediately tightened up. So it was tight after yesterday's class. I was really feeling it for sure. This is going to be a gradual buildup of the tone today. I just do not want to destroy my forearm by going in for the kill early on with my darkest darks. Now, there comes, and this is a good learning experience. So there does come a time when you have to, whether your forearm hurts or you have a shaky hand or whatever, there comes a time where it's like, okay, time to commit. And we're going to do this or we're not going to do this. And you have to start to press down a little bit harder and really commit to your darkest dark And then another decision for you to make is, what is your style? So, Angelia, I'm talking about you all morning here today. Sorry. Hope you don't mind. Hope you don't mind. Angelia has developed a style, and that was like the first 21 minutes of the coaching critique. Drawing H4F. Welcome. And so the first 21 minutes of Angelia's coaching critique was talking about the similarities of the style being developed in the portfolio, the body of work. And yeah. So we were talking about that. And what I'm doing right now, Angelia, just reminds me of your style. Like, it's very soft, it's very light, and you're progressing, and you're starting to press down harder. And I love that. But this is just reminding me of like your style, the way that I'm starting this off. Now let's go to the I didn't do the features yet. I'm starting conservatively. I'm not committing yet. I'm not ready to commit, and I'm trying just to teach you a different way to start also. So you see what I'm doing here, people? I am blending the face into the neck without a heavy line for the jawbone. If you leave, this is valuable information. It seems so like simple, but this is the biggest mistake I see people do time and time and time again. They separate the face from the neck, thus separating it from the entirety of the body, if it's a figure drawing, by pressing down as hard as humanly possible with the jawline, making the jawline so dark that there's no flow from the face into the neck. So I want you to think a little differently. I want you to think that this face and this neck are one, not always separated by like an outline of the jawbone. I'm not saying not to ever put any line there, but don't go so crazy with it and press down so hard, especially in the beginning. Okay, I'm dying here today. Hey, Rick. Welcome. Good morning. We're trying, brother. We're trying. Okay, so that's fine. Now, let's get these eyebrows. This will set the features. Now, the eyebrows, are they level? Ask yourself the question, are they level? Are they tilted? There's a subtle tilt to these eyebrows. So her right eyebrow is lower than her left. So the left side of the photo eyebrow is the lower one. Welcome, welcome, drawing H4F. Okay, so we've got a little eyebrow. Now there's a good amount of distance between the eyebrows and the eyes. So I'm going to do now, okay, let's go back to the reason why I do this silly warm-up thing that most people are like, what the hell? Next step of the warm-up. Why do I do this warm-up? I do this warm-up. I appreciate someone who's given me all these hundreds. Who is that? Who's given me the hundreds? And now the celebration. Now we're going to do the ellipse. Who is that? And from eyelash to eyelash. So we're going from tonal to linear. So I'm going to say, ask yourself the question, with our model, glance at our model's eyelash, glance at the eyelash, glance at the chin, glance at the eyelash, glance at the chin. This eyelash needs to be a little lower. I don't want to make it this low. My brain is fighting me. And then connect it with an imaginary line to the other eyelash. Try that. And I know for a fact, because I've measured it, this eyelash is higher than this one. And I really don't want there Ah, okay. Drawing H4F. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining. Where are you from? Where are you from? Um, so I'm just gonna dive into the eyes. Let's just dive in. Let's do tear duct. Look at the distance from the eyelash line to the eyebrow. It's a good amount of height. And now I'm gonna get the lid line, and it's not round. It's angular. Biggest mistake people make, they make it too round. I'm trying the next shade in thing next portrait, John Doe. Okay, that eye is too far away from the other one. So I'm going to move the tear duct here. So we're doing a little surgery. Okay, so next, um, we're going to do some shapes. So this eye and tear duct is a shape. Don't press down hard yet. How far away is that shape from that eyebrow? And how far away? Hey, drawing H4F. I got you. I got you. Where are you from? Where are you from? I am going to now draw this eye over here as a triangular shape into our model's lash. I'm not drawing a circle for the eye. There's no circle there. It's just a triangular shape. Okay? Sort of like that. And I'm not saying what I did there is anywhere near close to perfect. As a matter of fact, it's not even close. So I'm going to lower this. And so I'm struggling with that a little bit today. So what I'm going to do is not get stuck there. I'm going to move. So I'm going to come on in. I'm going to come down. I just said I was going to move, and I didn't move. Look at the white of the eye, get that tear duct triangle. Now I'm going to move. So my next step. All right, cool. Very cool. My next step is going to be the tip of our model's nose. So how far away is our model's nose from the side of our model's face? And you don't need to press down so hard with it. Just suggest. So now upper lip. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go, where is the center of our model's lips? Okay, good. And I'm just going to go with a round ellipse line. And now I'm going to draw cylinder. There's a little shadow shape on the top of our model's lip. And then I'm going to come down. And then there's a shadow underneath our model's lip. And I'm going to raise the separation of the two lips. And then this is the shadow underneath the lower lip. And then it has a cast shadow that casts that way. And when you're doing this, use midtones, people. Use midtones. So I'm just doing round lines around the cylinder of our model's lip. And then I've got side plane. Good. And underneath the chin. So I didn't tilt the chin downward. So I'm going to do that right now. And so now what I really need to do is I need to get what I was explaining to my students yesterday, that the tip of our model's nose is more of like, hi, Marie, welcome. Welcome. the tip of our model's nose is a little bit more of like a oval shape. But the entirety of the model's nose is more of an oval shape. Yes, this is common knowledge. Every art teacher teaches this with the tip of the nose as a ball. Don't outline the nose like so heavily on the left side. It's just a soft tone. So I am going to draw the highlight because that's showing to the viewer that, hey, that is the front plane of our model's nose. And it kind of comes in like that. And then this is the side plane of the eye socket. And this will help me place the eye. And that goes into the eyebrow. All right, now we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to get somewhere. So now, okay, tear duct, right below it is the edge of our model's nose. Okay, we're golden. Well, golden is it's too positive for me here today. But I'll try to be positive. Absolutely. Just matching that value, but not pressing down. Not matching the values, just blocking in tone. And above the model's eyelid, there's no white paper. I cannot believe the paper's buckling already. That sucks. Okay. Let's get some form lines. Let's get rid of white paper over here. And let's put in the beautiful. Okay. And under plane of the brow bone. So that is, people, my first go through. And I need to stop, okay, for a second and readjust everything here. Oh my God, I am like so hot right now. Like, so, okay, getting back to waking up, feeling stiff and all that, doing Angelia's critique. I'm like, okay, let me take a really hot shower. I'll loosen up all my muscles. Okay, now I'm like, I feel like I'm on Burning Man or whatever that is. I'm like dying here. Okay. And the AC is cranking. Probably because, man, I'm really beating myself up here today. So I'm a doofus. I took a hot shower and had a hot cup of coffee. Such an idiot. Okay, I digress. I like that start. That's a good start. Is it a perfect start? No. Is it good? Do I like the chiseled quality of, are the eyes too tilted? You better believe they are. So I'll fix that. Okay. Let's burn up a little bit more by finishing the hot coffee. Okay. How many people we got on the stream today? Wow, 26. Awesome. So make sure you like this video. Yeah, the humidity, like the rain, we had some. I mean, I'm cool with it, Marie, because we needed the rain so bad. I mean, it's just been, I have sprinklers and all that, but man, we still need the rain. So the eyes are too tilted. So I need to deal with that. But this eye seems pretty good placement, because if I look at the tip of our model's nose, that eye is so close to the tip of our model's nose. So before I lower this one, I am going to raise the eyelid, because the eyelid will give the optical illusion that this eye is higher, but they need to be a little bit more level. Oh, I see. Duh. This is tilted. I'm trying not to smudge the drawing. Gosh darn it. Okay. Now, we had a great conversation in class yesterday about where your light source is in your studio, and your light source should be to your left if you're a righty. Um, and we your reference should be just so you can lift up your head or just barely look to the right. Um, so my iPad was up a little bit too high. So I'm just trying to get it so I look down, look at my head moving. So I'm looking at the drawing and I can even just lift my head a touch or just like lift my eyes. And that just helped adjusting where my iPad was. And the tear ducts are very close. Look, so if you're struggling with the drawing, you're not looking enough. True, but my basement flooded last week. Oh my God, Marie, that is bad. That is so bad. When I go on Instagram, I see these videos of like uh, the subway flooding and all of that. That is so bad. That is so bad. I have a skin condition called vitiligo, and what triggered my immune system to fight against itself to create this vitiligo is mold. So there was mold in my first fixer-upper house, and it overwhelmed me because I was working one day. And then when I was younger, I was stressed out all the time because I was an illustrator. Nothing to make you more stressed out than having to meet deadlines 24 hours a day. And then I was doing home improvements, and there was mold, and I was stressed out. And so my immune system was overloaded, hence autoimmune disease. So mold is a serious, serious thing. Oh my God, up to the bottom step. You got to dry that stuff. Oh, wow, that's terrible. Nuts. That must have been awful for you to deal with. For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's a thing. Like mold is I follow a whole bunch of like health gurus on YouTube because I'm on the train a lot commuting, and there's only so much music that you can listen to. And I like mold can really trigger a lot of things in the human body that it's really bad. Oh my God, yes, one day at a time. It could be very overwhelming for sure. So let's establish the eyebrow. Okay, I'm okay with the eyes right now. I don't think I got the likeness with the eyes just yet, but it's a start, right? It's a start. Now, this right here is the side plane of your eye, your nasal bone slash eye socket, beginning of your eye socket there. And I'm loop down the nose with the line that separates the light from the shadow. And now this is our shadow, and now this is a cast shadow on our model's mouth muscle, and it's blending in with the lip. Yeah, dehumidifier, like two dehumidifiers for sure. And let's go fix these angles. Wow, we're already freaking 48 minutes in. I cannot believe this. I'm going a little slow here today. I'm going to work on this one after this live stream because it's kind of a rainy day outside. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible, Carmela. Yeah, dehumidifiers. I have one in my basement for sure. So now we've got a convex line that rolls into our model's lower lip. And I absolutely love this photo. This is such a good photo of this model. There's so much good information that we can see on this photo. Whereas some photos that you get on Pinterest and all that, like the information is just not there. There's a lot of good, crisp information. Tilt of the nostril area. Yep, okay. And then tilt of the other nostril. Good. And let's just shade all of this one more time because we're trying to make it a little softer. And there, oh, I see, that kind of goes down like that. And then we go around, which I don't like to go. I'm leaving out the highlights on the nose. We'll come back after and deal with the highlights. As long as you don't press down super hard on your pencil, you can come back and deal with the highlights with the mono zero later. So now this eyebrow tilts down a little bit. And so in class yesterday, hold on. I see it, YouTube. I see it. I need to check that my camera is not overly tilted because I have the tilt too tilted, but it looks really tilted on YouTube. Yeah, you see, this is, I'll post the drawing after in the post and on my Instagram page. Like, this is tilted on my camera, so it's making this tilt feel more severe than it is in reality. Now, I'm fessing up, and it is tilted in reality, but my camera, the way my camera moved, it's usually pretty still. Let me just test something. That's pretty straight up and down. That's pretty straight up and down. It's not bad. It's not bad. That was the biggest, most frustrating thing when I first started filming videos was trying to figure out where to place my camera, and it took me like couple of years to really figure it out. And then once I figured it out, I'm like, oh my god, that is the secret sauce of camera placement. And I'm spending a lot of time on the eyes, more time than I thought I would. This is so much fun. I love drawing this model, and I'm going to lower that eyebrow. Very chiseled look here, and then let's get this forehead one more time. Curves around, and this upper eyelid line should create, like I said earlier, the optical illusion. Okay, that just helped immensely. Behbood Karimi. Behbood Karimi, welcome. Okay. Any questions out there? Okay, there's this lower eyelid that I am going to. Now, Carmela, I've been contradicting myself lately because I've been telling you now for months, don't put a lot of information on the lower eyelids. But I'm putting information on the lower eyelid on this model because this model is older. They're not a young kid. And it's there. I see the information, so I'm putting it there. But on a young child, that's where you got to be careful, right? Now, if I made a mistake, I'd rather have the eyes a little bit more tilted than level, because level is going to take all of the pizzazz out of the portrait. Okay, silence is no good on a live stream, Matt. Yes. Now, in class yesterday, there's a triangular shadow shape on the side of the lips, which is the corner, the other side of the lips, the corner of the mouth. Do not make that really dark. That's going to not be good. So I already probably made it too dark. And now in between the lower lips and the lower lip and the upper lip, there's a little separation of the lips. So we're going to go a little darker there. And then this goes across to the corner of the lips. So I recommend making the upper lip more of a mid-tone value. And our model's lip is fairly close to the nose. So we're looking at distances, right? Yes. And the lower lip is catching a ton of highlight. And the lower lip is a cylinder. So I'm going around the lower lip. I hate those lines that I just put there. I used the wrong side of the pencil. They're so sharp. But I'll soften it as the drawing goes on. I haven't even thought about using the brush yet. Okay, so next, I'm still working on these lips, and I'm going to go darker underneath. Oh yeah, I hate what I just did there. But I got to just keep going with it. Yeah, it's tiny, and everybody yesterday, and not everybody, but a lot of students were outlining the lips completely with a dark outline, and then they made that triangular shape so dark. And don't do that. Think midtones. Now again, I've got like a grayscale right here. Midtone, dark. Midtone, dark. Don't go so dark like immediately with everything. Hey, from Finland. So it's always funny. I have a stepfather-in-law, Ron, and Ron was engaged to a Finn, and so we always laugh because he always whips out that story because he must have really liked the Finn. She must have been like a really good looking woman. So he always throws that out there when we're at a barbecue where he's like, yeah, did you know I was engaged to a Finn? And soon as he says that, my wife and I look at each other and we laugh. So good evening from Finland. It must be so beautiful over there. Wow, that's so cool. So we have Finland in the house. Nice. I was never engaged to a Finn. My wife it grew up in the town right next to my town, which, yeah. So I didn't have to go far. I need to get down more tone. Everything needs to be darker. So let's see here. Okay. And lower eyelid, lighter. All of this needs to be powered in pretty dark. Um, must be exotic around there. It's beautifully sunny. It's a beautiful sunny evening right here now. Well, I would not call where I live exotic. So I live in New York State, which I desperately want to move out of New York State. It is, they have the most restrictive laws here, the highest taxes, but I'm going to stop right now. I've lived here my whole life, and basically I do not want to live here forever. Now, where I live is absolutely beautiful, but I would not call it exotic. Um, so I live pretty far from um, New York City. Like, it's an 87-minute train ride, 20 minutes to get to the train station. So I live pretty far from Manhattan, for sure. So I live on Eastern Long Island. It's really beautiful. Like, the South Shore of Long Island has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. The North Shore of Long Island houses a whole bunch of wineries. It has like the perfect climate for growing grapes. I go figure. I don't know. It's got like just as good of a climate as like California. For that, it's right near the North Shore of Long Island. So it is beautiful. It is beautiful. But we are New York State, and New York State is getting more and more and more. Long Island specifically is getting more and more and more overpopulated. And it's not the same place. I've grown up here. I've lived here my whole life, and it has changed so much. From when I was like a young kid. So I just can't see myself living here for the rest of my life. I want to live somewhere else. So we're beginning the process of moving, thinking of where we're going to move to, uh, for sure. But it's not gonna be all peaches and cream because I love teaching at the college, and it's going to be hard to give that up. It's so much fun. The commute sucks going there on the train, but it's a lot of fun once you get there. Okay, so I'm just doing a soft tone. I'm not going to go too crazy with the neck on this live stream. Not enough time. I'll do that after. I'm just trying to show you how I would go about getting the portrait. Um, oh, yes, fins are exotic here. Likewise, Americans feel exotic for a plain of old Finnish guy like me. Okay. um, yeah, I got you. I got you. That's interesting stuff. Um, I know that's the other thing, Marie. You know, I have elderly parents, and I don't want to move and like leave them. That would not be good. So, you know, all of these things are coming into my decision making process of how long I'm going to stay in New York. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so with this particular portrait, I am so not there with the likeness. So they're What time is it? I've been sitting down for an hour. I should get up. And look at this from far away. Yeah, the friends and all that, I understand. Yeah. This drawing is definitely Omar Comics. Welcome. So right now I'm just working the whole drawing at once. I think I need to stand up because I've been sitting down way too long in it, and I think I need to reset my eyes. Um, I'm gonna keep moving this over. I just was a little aggressive with that. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stand up so I could reset my eyes, and yeah. So give me like a minute, all right? I'm gonna leave this up. Let me just zoom in a little bit more. And I'm gonna move my drawing to the left, and then I'm gonna stand up. Yep. Okay, good. Now, is that plum? No, it is not plum. All right, I'm gonna take a 2 minute break or 1 minute break, whatever. I'll be right back. Okay, so this drawing needs a ton of work, a ton of work. Um, it's too tilted, uh, and the angle of my camera is making it feel tilted even more. But it's too tilted for sure. Everything needs to be adjusted. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be like a little bit of a lunatic, and I'm going to kind of push the pencil into the tooth of the paper with this big Bristol brush. It's just a cheap Bristol brush for canvas painting. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I think a big part of getting the likeness of this model will also be about. Oh, okay, yeah, I could grab that portrait. It's somewhere hanging up on the wall. I'll grab it. So a big part of this portrait is going to be me matching the values more so than what I've done so far. So now I'm going to be drawing a little bit more with my eraser. Okay. Let me see if I can't find that portrait. This one is so much bigger. I don't know if I can fit it on here, but this was last week's portrait drawing. Really happy with the way that it turned out. I would say the grand total amount of time that I spent on this one was roughly 5 hours. So it was a 2 hour live stream, and then I worked on it for about 2 hours last week, and then I did something, and then I came back in the late afternoon before dinner, and I just worked on it a little bit more. Um, yeah, she's a great model, really pretty model. Uh, so I had fun with that one for sure. Okay. Um, yeah, this model's kicking my butt for sure. Okay, so let's start over. So what I like to do once I get to this point is start from the top. So the top for me is going to be these angles. Thank you, Rick. It's on my Instagram, and it's also, if you go to my YouTube channel, my homepage of my YouTube channel, and then you click on posts, I usually upload all of the finished drawings that I do for live stream there, as well as my Instagram page. So they're on both my posts on YouTube as well as my Instagram page. And lower lip once again. Convex line. Okay, so now there's this. Curves around. Lashes tilt up. Then we angle down into the tear duct. And then this angles up. A fairly solid shape there. And then the lid line kind of zooms down into the tear duct. There's a little information under the lower eyelid. Thank you, Giselle. I don't know if anyone's getting benefit from this. Like this drawing. This one's fighting me today. So sometimes they go smooth, and other times they don't. So this one's not going smooth for me. I like the way the quality of the drawing looks. I don't have a problem with that. I just wish I wasn't struggling so much with getting this model's likeness. Because that's a big reason why I do this, because I enjoy that. And when I don't get the likeness, like, it drives me a little cuckoo. But I appreciate you joining me, Giselle Ferrier. The older woman at the time, this was, I don't even know when I bought my first house. Maybe it was 1998. Gisela was her first name. Okay, so thicker brow. Underplane shadow. Eyebrows are closer together. And this, okay, this could be a big part of the likeness. This eyebrow needs to be bigger and closer together to the other eyebrow. You got it, Carmela. Thank you for hanging out. Yeah, this one's kicking my butt. I'm trying. So, dark, dark, dark. I still haven't even come close to matching the values. So that's another whole thing that I need to cut myself like a little slack with. I haven't matched the values, so that's a thing. Matching values helps so much with the likeness. Okay, so this is the highlight on the front plane of the nose. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Underplane of the brow bone. Thicker eyebrow. Darker eyebrow. All of this stuff really matters with the likeness. Let's turn this around with some directional paintbrush strokes, we call them. All right, Carmela, you got it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so tear duct. Angle down. You got it. You got it. I'm just trying to lower this eye. And I'm trying to go darker with that side of the eye. And now the lid line. I'm lowering that. That's going to help. And okay. A little bit better. Just trying to go darker. Line that separates the light from the shadow. I'm just doing some form lines over here. And darker. Matching the values helps. The portrait that I did last week is the face is like double the size of this face. So it was easier in that face to get and see all the details a little bit better. But I didn't want to go so big today because I knew this one was going to involve like a lot of shading. I'm just going to sharpen the mono 0 and just try to get this eyelid pulled out. And this highlight on the front plane of the nose. And the highlight on the ball of the nose. I shouldn't be fussing with these highlights yet, but I am. White of the eye. Upper lip highlight. lower lip highlights, which I'm just trying something different. Maybe this will help me. And then secondary light source highlights. How we doing out there, YouTube? So Dennis, yes, I did gray everything out right now for sure. So it's a slow drawing process. What I'm doing here today, for sure, it's definitely slow. So if Dennis, if I start to now, excuse me, go a little, if I start to progress with some more darks here in the hair, like I don't have my full. I'll fully admit this. I do not have my full range of values just yet because I do not have my dark in. Um, Maybe the eyes are close to a dark, but that's not enough. Like I need more dark, and the dark is truly going to be this hair. And once I start to develop more of the darks, then the rest of the drawing will slowly look a little bit too light. Actually, it's really too light. Um, so like the process that I'm doing on this drawing is not like a quick, more gestural, linear process like I've done in the past. I'm doing more of a very slower style of drawing, which is tonal and taking my time with it and not going in for the kill and pressing down so hard with my pencil like immediately. I'm just trying to be a little bit more tonal and gradual tonal is, I guess, what I'm doing here today. I'm going to bring this cheekbone in. I don't know if that's going to bite me in the butt, but I'm going to bring it in. And I'm going to chisel a little bit off over here. I want the lip to protrude outwards a touch. I'm starting with linear. So I like my first DVD that I created in 2006 was called Figure Drawing: A Layered Approach. So this is going to be like more of a layered approach to this drawing. And you're absolutely right, Dennis. You're just one step ahead of me. I'm just going with a slower process today. So the texture for the edge of our model's hair, which I haven't gotten to yet, but would be a different pencil stroke direction. So it would just be that I'm doing more of like a, um, I call it scribbling texture. So I'm just kind of doing circles, which is a form of like scribbling. And that's how I'm going to gradually today get this diversity of like texture. And so my class yesterday for drawing tutorials online members on Zoom was a class on edges. So we were talking about three of the most important edges to have like in your drawing. So yeah, just trying to get that diversity of texture. I'm not even close. I'm not even there yet. Um, So this is we're into the drawing right now, like an hour and 20 minutes, because I did my warm up. That took about 10 minutes, and I set up, and the setup and the warm up was 10 minutes. So we're into this about an hour and 20 minutes. Truth be told, for me to get this portrait right, I probably need 5 hours on it, and I'm not even close to the 5 hour mark. So I've got a ways to go. And every little bit counts on a portrait like this. So um, I'm just trying to cling a little bit onto the features of the face right now because that's good for YouTube. People like that. If I start shading the hair, it's going to get boring for people to watch. Um, Hi, Matt. Belgium. Wow. Okay, Gene. Although I have the eyes too much tilted, I still like the drawing. I appreciate you, Gene. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Dennis, I have a couple of different styles. So I have my life drawing style that I teach the animation students at the School of Visual Arts, where everything, like we do nothing in that class that is longer than a 20-minute pose. I'm trying my very best to get back to doing like a 40-minute pose with the students, like after lunch, like we do a 40. But most of the drawings that we do in that class are 2-minute sketches, 3-minute sketches, 5-minute drawings, a lot of fives, and tens. Tens are kind of the sweet spot. And it's really to teach the animation students how to draw fast. And so this is more of an illustration style of drawing, a little bit slower, a little bit more meditative, versus when you're doing gesture with the model and the model's moving every 5 minutes, it's a new pose. That's more energy based drawing. This is more relaxed, meditative. It's task orientated meditation. That's what I like to call a drawing like this. So yeah, I love doing the short poses from life. I could do them from photos. I don't enjoy it as much. Um, okay, I understand that. That's a cool point of view, for sure. So how I would approach the hair, Dennis, first is I would block in the basic value. And so with this particular paper, if I start to press down really hard with this coal erase pencil, it's going to indent the paper and make like lines on the paper that will not come out. So what I'm doing here, what I'm trying to show you is that I'm gradually, with a gradual pressure, applying some more pressure to make this pencil darker. And then what happens on top of that is once I get not the matching of the value, but fairly close, then I will start to do the texture of the hair, which is more of what you used a good word, coily. I'm using circle pencil strokes. And so, yeah, for sure. It's just a slow go of it. And then this hair has a huge top light hitting it. And so the top of the hair is so much darker than this area than where I'm shading right now. And we were saying earlier in the live stream that this is the shadow part of the hair, and the shadow part of our model's hair is blending into the cast shadow of the skin tone, that the hair is casting a shadow on the skin tone. And so they're becoming one, which is making it even harder to draw this model because it's hard to see the shapes. And I'm a big believer. I teach the animation students in the backgrounds class that different things in their backgrounds should have different values. So let's say they're doing a background for their film and it's a landscape. Like, I will just stress to them, one of the biggest things that I see as like a mistake in image making is that they'll make the grass, if it's like a field, they'll make the grass like the same value as the sky, and there's no separation except for like a 40 pixel black outline where the grass meets the sky, and it's just, that's a disaster when you do that. Um, I got you. I understand what you're saying for sure. So I don't know how far I'm going to get with this drawing today. I would like to finish it today. It's turning out to be a pretty nice day. Like the weather has just been so off with them. They were saying that we were going to get like flooding and all this jazz, and it rained last night really hard. We probably did get 2 inches, but it didn't last long at all. Like maybe 5 hours of rain, and now it's just an absolutely beautiful day. But I did schedule today that it was going to be raining all day, and I was going to be in my studio drawing. Um, yeah, so I'm going to finish this drawing here today. That's what's on the schedule. Round strokes around the cylindrical lips. Round pencil strokes, not straight. And the upper lip is very close to the bottom of the nose. Awesome. Where are you from, Dennis? And what do you animate? So I'm just going around the skin tone right now, just trying to work the whole drawing at once. And I'm also trying to use some form lines around form. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. Um, yeah, I'm starting back teaching at SVA on the semester starts September 8th, Tuesday. So I'll be starting my foundation drawing class on Wednesday, and then that's all day, 6-hour class. Those are first year animation students. I have them for foundation drawing, and then Thursday morning is advanced live drawing for fourth year students who are working on their thesis film, and then 3:20 to 6:10 is perspective and visual development, which is a fancy way of saying backgrounds. So, yeah, I'll be teaching that, and then Friday is same 2 classes. So it's perspective and visual development, which is backgrounds. It's 2 backgrounds classes. The ear is equal with the nose. So I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of incredibly talented students, and my foundation drawing class is packed. I've got 19 or 20 students, and that is a lot. Last year, I had much less than that. So sometimes what you can do if you're in a pinch for time is you could focus on the texture um, at the edges of things. So I teach this in the visual development and perspective and visual development class, where especially like let's say you're drawing trees and you don't have time, like animation students spend most of their time animating, and so the backgrounds tend to fall by the wayside for some people. And other people, like they spend more time on their backgrounds than they do actually animating. So it's you can draw a tree and silhouette the leaves, but you do the leaf texture on the edge of the leaves, and it's a great way to draw a tree without drawing every single leaf there is to draw. How we doing out there, YouTube? Any questions? We're at the hour and 40-minute mark for this live stream. I'm trying to go a little bit faster now and just blocking in some tone. I've got a lot of drawing time ahead of me today with this. So what I will do, since my body is screaming at me right now, is I will draw, stretch, draw, stretch. I do, it isn't necessarily like stretching alone. It's a lot of postural exercises that make sure that your posture is aligned, and that prevents pain. So it's like when you're an artist and you're sitting down in a chair all day like this and you're working, it just destroys you. Your body so you'll get up off of the chair, and if you look at me drawing, like my right hand is on my Cintiq screen, which is my drawing table, and my shoulder is up. So I'm putting my body completely off balance doing this. So like I'm going to constantly today like rebalance my body because, yeah, you can walk around like rotated to forward to the right, and your right side of your body could be elevated because you hold a pencil if you're already up. Appreciate that, Dennis. So basically I've been doing this for so long, and there were years that I was so burnt out, like I neglected my YouTube channel because I wasn't just putting content out on YouTube. I have a full-blown like membership website, and I was making courses for years for that website. And so my YouTube channel technically should be so much bigger than what it is, but I, I don't. I never really wanted a team. I just wanted to be a solo entrepreneur because I like that better. And when I was an illustrator, I was a freelancer working alone, and that's how I wanted my life set up. I didn't want to have a team. I had a payroll for a short period of time. It was a disaster, especially in New York State. They just have so many flipping laws. It just made it like untenable to have that setup. So yeah, I mean, I should be a little bit bigger than what I am, but I was okay with not growing as much as other channels and just keeping things controllable and not getting overwhelmed and all that jazz. Yeah, so what I do, like there's so many great people on Instagram, like physical therapists that I follow. But what got me into this is a book, and it's called Pain Free. And the author's name, I don't even know if this person's still alive anymore, but the author's name is Pete Egoscue. So I think it's Ego Egoscue. Pete Egoscue. And what Pete I read the first part of the book, and it just shows people who have bad posture and what happens when you neglect your body and you don't move and have your body hit all of its movement patterns. And there's like a younger person now that teaches the same thing. There's tons of people that have taken the Egoscue methods and really run with it. Another person is this woman on Instagram. I think she's from New Zealand. I could be wrong. Vanya Moves, and so she talks about movement all the time, and she set her entire life up to constantly like move. I can't do that, but now after watching her, I'm so completely conscious about how much I sit. And this is a standing desk. Like if I press a button over here, the drawing is going up, but I can't film myself standing because I can't move my camera as easy as I can move my desk. So today I will most definitely draw standing up. That still doesn't help my shoulders, but I have a ton of shoulder exercises that I do also to rebalance like my shoulders to prevent shoulder pain and all of that. Now, when I don't do these exercises, I'm screwed. And it's so much fun when I make my undergraduate students do the exercises because they've never done them before. And like there was one girl, she was like looking at me, she's like, please don't do this anymore. Like her shoulders were killing her, and she couldn't even do the exercises that I was teaching. So I'll stop class and we'll stretch. Yeah, and it's great. Like I absolutely love it. It's so funny. Like it's so funny to watch the students. Like they're animating and sitting down in front of the computer screens like all day long. And yeah, their whole body is a mess. But they're young and they can recover quickly. Okay, YouTube. So so far, I do not have our model's likeness, but I will get the likeness before the end of the day. That's my promise to myself. I really want to get the likeness of this model. So it's like a couple of things, and I just need to um, concentrate and look more. So you should be looking at your drawing 50%, looking at the photo reference at least 50% of your drawing time in this style of drawing. Okay. And then the other 50%. Now, you could even be a lunatic and look 60% of your time and draw for 40% of your time. So, yeah, something to think about. Now, what's going to muck you up a little bit with this drawing is outlining our model's lips completely. A couple people did that yesterday. They outlined, hey, Mr. Freeze, 1982. That was ninth grade for me, 1982. The 80s were great. Yes, absolutely. Uh, so yesterday, people outlined the lips. And when you outline things completely, what you do is you compartmentalize like you're drawing and you start to separate things from the face. So you've got to make sure that you don't outline the lips 100%. Yeah. I hear you, Dennis. I hear you. um, for sure. So, circular pencil stroke, circular pencil stroke on the perimeter of our model's hair. And even on the inside. But I'm just trying to give you as much as I possibly can in our short 2-hour live stream here today. Sean Gillespie. I've been watching your channel on and off for what must be over a decade. Matt, I've learned a lot about portraiture from you. Well, I appreciate that. I got to say, working on the live streams, if I turned my camera, which I can't really do, I mean, I've got thousands of drawings in this house, like legitimately thousands, because I teach 2 drawing classes a week at the college. I used to teach 3 or 4, and I have so many drawing pads. And then I have so many ugly, ugly illustration sketches from my imagination for art directors. They're all scattered all over the house. I just recently started throwing some of the old ones out that are horrendous. Because one day I will move and I don't want to bring everything. So, yeah. Doing my point is this: doing the live streams like this has really helped me also. Like I've noticed a big improvement I feel like much more relaxed. And I have a lot of drawings up on the wall where I did not blend with the brush. And I do not like them as much as when I do blend with the brush. So I've started via the live stream process, started to understand a little bit more about what I like in my portrait drawings and how to do them a whole lot faster. Um, yeah, on pencil, on paper with pencil. So it's I appreciate that, Sean. And this helps. It's mutual. It's helping me also. So in September, when I start my grueling teaching schedule of 5 college courses plus teaching on DTO, I am gonna try to do these live streams on Monday. We'll see what happens. It won't be every single Monday, but it'll be on Monday. Yeah, Marie has come to. Marie, you were in continuing education at the School of Visual Arts with me, right? And then I used to teach at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and Marie came to a few of those classes because it's close to. It's not that far for you. And even the like I said earlier in this video that I've been living in New York State my whole life and I want to move out of New York State for a multitude of reasons. But even the museum, I remember like the museum used to actually be artist friendly. So there's like the European sculpture court, and they had all these chairs, and the museum used to let you move the chairs closer to the statues and sit down on the chairs and draw. And then they just all of a sudden got like militant, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and they're like, first of all, they took half of the chairs out. They won't let you move the chairs. Like they're they're just like not artist friendly at that museum anymore. And so like it used to be so much easier to teach classes there, but now so many rules. Like I can't even just meet with a few people there. Like you have to register, and I'm like, dude, I'm just meeting with a couple people here. It's just like friends hanging out and drawing. Like, why do you have to have so many freaking rules? And that is New York State. They love rules. Yeah, totally. Oh my God, 25 years ago, Marie, we're getting old. Trying to find that edge of the jawbone. Yeah, ancient. Okay, that's pushing it, but yeah, old, ancient sounds like the museum. Some of the stuff in there that Europe, the Egyptian wing, Temple of Dendor, absolutely one of my favorite rooms to draw in. Any questions, YouTube? I would have liked to have gotten more of a likeness for you while I'm on the live stream. It just didn't happen today on the live stream. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. But I'll post the drawing. This eye is kicking my butt. Kicking my butt. It's not even a tough eye to draw. It's just killing me. That helped. Rick, get out of here. You're 79? No way. No way. No way. Where do you live again, Rick? I'm going to forget that you posted that, Rick. I'm going to forget it. But I'm in my late 50s. I wish I was still a kid. Absolutely. What country or state do you live in? You don't need to give us specifics. My wow, my parents are in their mid 80s, and they're doing. My mom has a lot of ailments, but she's hanging in there for sure, and she's a trooper. You see people on YouTube, all of this needs to be darker. All of this needs to be darker, and I'm not going to make it look like the model 100%. Like, I'm darkening all of this by utilizing my Bristol brush. Oh, wow. That is so cool. You live in Kansas City. That sounds flippin' awesome. Somewhere where you don't need to sit in 3 hours of traffic to go over the scariest bridge to get off of the island. I live so far east on Eastern Long Island that it literally takes like 2 full hours just to get off of the island if you're doing it during like high prime traffic. Um, and then you got to go over the Verrazano, which is the scariest bridge ever to drive over. Thing is nuts long and tall. So intimidating. I'll never forget when I was a young kid, somebody was telling me, like, yeah, you see that cement? Like, multiple workers fell into the cement and they were buried into the cement when they were pouring it. And I'm like, that's what you want to hear when you're going over the bridge. Absolutely. Just pushing the pencil into the paper. I got lots of pencils, Marie. Got lots of pencils. Listen, Marie, I'm short and I suck at math, so I got to be good at something, right? It might as well be drawing. And what do they say when you get older? You shrink too because the vertebrae, your discs in between your vertebrae lose water, so you lose height. Absolutely. Not to be negative. My mom is like totally shrinking. Like she is every time I see her, she gets shorter and shorter because she's when you get older, this is a fact. You lose height because the discs between your vertebrae lose water. Thus, you lose height, and they also get worn out. Not to be too negative here. Well, yeah, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how I do it either, Marie. I think I'm like a little crazy. But with that being said, Marie, I make it a point to listen to educational stuff and not just like sleep or stare at the window or just only listen to music. Like, I love learning new things, and I have gotten a massive education on the human body and all different diets that I never knew about, the benefits, the pros, and the cons of all these things. Um, and I've learned so much during my commute. Like, I make it a point to learn about different things. I'm just trying to learn about how to stay younger, how to stay healthy, what diets do what to your body, all these different things. So I've learned a ton. Just gonna work a little bit with the mono zero. Wow, it's 12 o'clock. Oh my God, I just heard the whistle from the firehouse. I don't think I got the edge of our model's face correct. I need to adjust. Just lightening that line a little bit. All right, so YouTube, I'm gonna finish this live stream in about a minute or two. Are there any questions before I go? Now, I'm gonna work on this drawing more today, and I will try my very best to finish it, and I will try my very best to post a photo of the finished drawing both on my Instagram page, which is called Matthew Archambault Artwork, and the YouTube posts part of my YouTube channel. Now, if you go to my YouTube channel at the end of the live stream and you just click on posts, you can see some of, if not all, of the finished drawings. I don't think I posted them all, but I think I did. Not sure. I don't remember. And I'm going to do my best to post this finished piece. I will work on it for roughly 5 hours today, so this is the first two. Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, good genes helps. Now, I've been teaching for 2 hours, basically, and talking and having a good time here. If you're interested, I'll give myself a 1-minute advertisement. If you're interested in learning more from me, but in a deeper way, not a YouTube live stream sort of way, you could check out my website, drawingtutorialsonline.com. The main key thing with my website is basically getting a critique from me every Monday. And sometimes a critique from a teacher who's been teaching for just about 30 years, and somebody who's illustrated books for about 18 years and been running their own website for I don't know how many years, since 1990 to 2008. I could, see things in your drawing that maybe you don't see. And you could be struggling for years, and then all of a sudden, someone looks at your artwork and they say one thing, and it opens up a whole new world for you of opportunity that you didn't even know existed, because sometimes this phrase is so true. You don't know what you don't know. Like, I'm into a sport that I do on the weekends, and I follow a bunch of different coaches online. And somebody posted part of this coach's class with the coach's permission, and they were teaching something, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I knew that 5 years ago. Like, I had no idea that was a thing. And so sometimes, like, just getting a critique and feedback from a teacher is very different than just always watching a tutorial. Like, watching tutorials are great, but that will only get you so far. So if you are interested in learning more from me in more of a interactive sort of way on a Zoom class where I critique your work on the actual Zoom class, check out the link below. You can sign up for $47 for 3 months. It's not a subscription. It's a one-time flat fee, and it's no commitment, just the 3 months. And you can get a critique every single week from me, and that is worth its weight in gold. I'm new to drawing and use it as an escape. Lately, I've been drawing portraits and debating myself whether it's more worthwhile to draw them quickly or to take my time with each one. So a lot of that depends on the lifestyle that you want to live. Do you want to get in and out, draw, and just enjoy the process of drawing and not worry about being this thing that lasts for hours? Or, like, for some people, drawing portrait drawings that last for hours, it is an escape, because it is a form of like slowing your brain down and meditating and escaping from like the world for a little while, playing music, listening to coffee, just drawing, and just constantly like concentrating on these abstract shapes. It's meditation. And so it's a lot of this is lifestyle based. And so I really say to my students, the younger students, I'm like, pick your style, because your style will dictate how you live. So if your style is very laborious, then you will be in your studio 24 hours a day. And that was my style for all these years. If your style is a little bit looser, well, then you're going to have more time for other things. I really do believe that what has helped me, and I'll close with this, I really do believe what has helped me, because I used to teach in the illustration department, and everything was long drawing, long drawing, long drawing. I really did not get good until I started doing hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of short drawings of the figure. You just see proportions so much quicker. Everything gets faster. And then when you do the long drawings like what I'm doing here, everything is just easier because you see things faster. That may not be happening for me today on this live stream, but it usually does. And, you know, you have your good days and your bad days for sure. But I think you should really do all three and not just limit yourself to either or. And I think, you know, just do both. Like, don't give yourself too many rules. Do some long duration drawings for fun if you like that, and then squeeze in some short ones. It doesn't need to be an either or scenario. It could be both. I try to like get my students to understand this, because especially in the animation department, like, they are just so hook, line, and sinker sold on only doing short poses. And I'm like, there's more to life than a 2-minute gesture pose. And same thing with the other schools. Like, there's the Art Students League. Like, they'll work on like one pose for like 6 weeks, 8 hours a day. And I'm like, dude, do some short gestures. Like, you'll get so much faster and you'll see things so much quicker. But people like what they like, and, you know, you're not going to change people's minds so quickly. All right. Sorry I didn't get the likeness, but I will. I'm going to work on this, and I will work on it today, and I will post it later tonight. So thank you, everybody. Let's get out of this. Oh my God, I think I need to eat some lunch here. That was a lot of drawing in 2 hours. Holy gosh. I got something in my eye, of course. That means it's time to end this live stream. Yes, I will See you next Wednesday. And then remember, I'm probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks off of doing these live streams in August. And then I'll come back with a vengeance like in September. And we'll continue with the live streams for about 15 weeks in a row for sure. You got it, Marie. I appreciate the conversation going back and forth. Yep, absolutely. Stella, thank you. Dennis, thank you. Um, Marie, thank you. Everybody who joined today, I really appreciate your time drawing along with me. It was a lot of fun, and I still have to work on this thing, and I will see you all next week for sure. Okay? Awesome. See you. See you soon.